Good morrow, scholars. Welcome again to Witch and Wizard. As I mentioned in the Shiver upload, my computer was messing up the other day, and so I took a day to fix it, and then out of fear, I did not turn it on for a few days, and so far everything's been running perfectly fine. I haven't heard any weird grinding like sounds, anything like that, so hopefully everything's been sorted. Anyway, we are in chapter 97, Wit 278. And other news, I apparently have lost 10 pounds. So, yay. Anyway. I don't think so, Wisty went on as she unwrapped herself from my arms. I had no idea what she was up to, but I knew I couldn't stop her. She turned her head slowly to look at the matron, then stared at Judge Unger. I just ate, but I'm still hungry. I sensed a spell coming on, and I cringed involuntarily. We didn't have time for trial and error. Trust me, Wisty whispered to me. I struggle on the silliest of things. She turned back to our accusers. You say you're the one, she said with a tone of authority I'd never heard in her before, but your form will now become undone. Let's see. For the first time in all of Wisty's spellcasting, a shiver went through me. We are a witch and wizard, Wisty continued, her voice sounding stronger and stronger. As you can clearly tell, but since you don't deserve where you presently dwell, it is now with great pleasure we send you off to... What? We all waited with bated breath and fear. I must admit, and trembling, I almost didn't want to hear her complete the curse. Roachland, Wisty finished. Will you be a judge to heinous criminal even under the laws of roaches? She snapped her fingers at Judge Unger, who actually cowered. I'm itchy. Iggy's still in the bath, by the way. Don't let me forget him. I give you all of my power, I whispered to my sister. You speak for both of us. It was as if lightning were moving within me. A feeling of quicksilver. It's funny because Scarlet Witch... Never mind. Warmth that raced through my hands and into Wisty. Again, she snapped her fingers at Judge Unger. This time he shrieked, and a crackling burst of white light surrounded him, engulfing the monster from his head to the tips of his black riding boots. We all waited, hearts in our throats, and then, when the smoke cleared, the biggest, ugliest roach I'd ever seen lay trembling on the pavement. The matron stared at the hideous creature, appalled. You're next, Wisty told her. The matron shot a glance at the security specialists, and they shook their heads. Whirling, they ran through the crowd just as fast as they could. Jonathan, too. Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. The last I saw of the matron, she was lumbering away, shrieking like a banshee. She had gotten our message. Now she would help spread it. Right up to the Council of Ones. The fight is on. Wisty's eyes grew very large. I think we did it, she said, her voice raspy and weak. Her eyes were turning back to blue again. Where was I? Ew! I heard a kid squeal. I looked down to see a large rat darting through everyone's legs. Suddenly it seized the roach and bit off its head. It struck me as being one of the top 5 grossest things I'd ever seen. But Wisty was having a laughing fit. What's so funny? I asked her. Now that's justice, she said as the rat skittered away with the rest of Ezekiel Unger's roach body in its mouth. I don't know how to feel about that. You know, she continued, I like rats much better when they're not bigger than me. They're almost cute, don't you think? And then she fainted again. Yeah, my sister's weird. Mostly in a good way. Chapter 98. Wait. Now here's what my sister missed. I turned and saw that several of the prison kids were crying, bawling their little eyes out, shivering, cowering. Oh dear. The one who is the one had appeared, this time with no strong winds, no warning of any kind. That's somehow worse. He stood directly over Wisty and declared, "She's good. She's very good. Whitford, you both are. Of course, you must know that I had no intention of letting either of you be seriously harmed. No, no, no." I finally found my voice. "I'll bet you didn't." "I absolutely didn't. That isn't one of the prophecies. Even I can't change those." The one looked hard at me then, almost stared right through me. "You do know the prophecies about you and your sister, don't you? That's what all the fuss is about. Your parents didn't tell you? You mean no one has? You don't know?" I wished I could hurt him, but all I could do was dumbly mutter, "What prophecies?" "Oh, Wit, Wit, poor Wit. All right then. I'll have to be the bearer of legend and myth. Listen well. Prophecy 1. A boy and a girl, brother and sister, shall be born to Wiccans and shall achieve powers heretofore unrealized by any other Wiccans. That much is obviously true. Prophecy 2. The boy and girl shall lead an army of children to victory. Well, look around. You won the battle of the New Order Reformatory, didn't you? 3. The brother and sister shall know great sadness, suffering, and terrible betrayal. Hope not. Think so. 4. They must visit all 5 levels of reality, which no one before them has done, and learn the lessons of each level. Sounds even worse than middle school and high school. Huh. Interesting. Where was it? Prophecy 5. Well, I'll come back to that one. 6. Ultimately, the brother and sister shall combine with an even greater power for the goodness and prosperity of all. Sounds exciting, no? The one stared deeply into my eyes, and it was almost as if he were trying to know me better, to understand something about me. So, Whitford, what do you think of all this? Am I friend or foe, or a little of each? Are the important things in life black and white, or maybe a little gray? Do fairies, elves, and gremlins exist? And will you ever see Celia again? I leave you with those weighty thoughts and questions. And this one last prophecy, sweet prince. The all-goods shall be executed. That is prophecy 5. I'm sure you and your sister will sort it all out. Give her my very best. Wake her gently. Chapter 99. Wisty. What happened? I asked dreamily when I opened my eyes and caught sight of Wit. Oh no. You just had a bad dream, Wisty. You've been sick for days. Mom and Dad and I have been really worried about you. This is what I hoped to hear anyway. Then I caught sight of Margot, Sasha, and Emmett in the background. There was a moment of letdown, sure, but then I felt huge relief, knowing they were okay and they were there for me. Even that hateful weasel Byron Swain actually seemed concerned about me. Don't you remember, Wit said? The prison, Judge Unger, the matron, all the kids who escaped? I do, I said, trying to sit up. Actually, I do. Most of it, anyway. You missed the one who is the one, Wit said then. I did? How? When? I'll tell you later. What about Mom and Dad? Wit asked suddenly, his face lit with concern when he saw mine fall. What happened? Where are they? Wisty, what's wrong? My eyes went from face to face until they came to Sasha. Ask him, I said. He's the one who lied to us. Mom and Dad were never in the prison. Sasha lied to get us to help. Bitterness rose in my throat. I'll never forgive you, I spat out. It took a moment for Wit to process the betrayal. Wait a minute. In a flash, his expression morphed from disbelief to dismay to disgust. No, Wit growled, his fists clenched. Neither will I. Sasha never flinched. Worse things have happened to me. Far worse. We needed you guys. This is a war against true evil. The ends justify any effective means. That's a poor translation of a quote people take out of context. I can't remember what the actual translation is, though. Hmm. Then Sasha gave us that cheery smile of his, and it was so sad. And creepy. Let's see. Dang, I'm going to be stuck on what the quote actually is. Anyway. Then and there, I vowed never to let the war or anything else do that to me. I should turn you into a slug, I shouted at Sasha. You used our friendship and it ruined it forever. Take it easy, Whit cautioned. You've been out for hours. He's not worth it. She's awake, someone shouted, and I suddenly realized that all around me were hundreds of kids wearing, like, party hats and blowing noisemakers. Tattered paper streamers were draped everywhere. We were back at Garfunkel's. Pfeffer was sitting on a couch, eating what looked like a cake off a paper plate. I had a dog do that one time. When she heard my voice, she jumped off and came to me, licking my face. I got to my feet, shaky, starving, and a little lightheaded. Janine, our leader of the week, pushed through the crowd, holding a soda and a plate of chocolate cake. Real cake. I hadn't had any in... It felt like a lifetime. I didn't even use a fork. I dug into it, icing first. I don't know how to feel about that. To the liberators, Janine shouted. Everyone around me echoed her words. My face flushed as I tried to smile and shove more cake into my mouth at the same time. Everyone helped, Whit said. What the? Here's to all of you. Margot the commando was staring at Whit, who did look very heroic. You two did the most. So for today, enjoy being heroes, Janine said, but her eyes shone only on Whit. I knew he didn't notice that she was totally crushing on him. My bro was clueless, as usual. That's one thing I love about him. Someone handed me a foot-long hot dog with everything slopped all over it, and I began to wolf down the frank on top of the cake. Yuck, but also delicious. I don't like when my food's mixed. Which is weird because, like, if I'm eating chicken fried rice, I don't mind. But if I have, like, mashed potatoes and, let's say, chicken fried steak and macaroni and cheese, I can't have them touching on the plate. And if I do, I just eat around it, and then whatever's been touched, it stays on the plate. I have problems. Emphasis on being on today, Emmett clarified with a heart-stopping grin. We don't let anybody be heroes for more than a day, because it goes to their heads. Hero worship tends to corrupt, or at least turn you into an Erlenmeyer. I don't know still what that means. Understood, Whit said. However, Janine went on, for going above and beyond the call of duty, you are hereby promoted to official rescue mission driver. We stashed the van in a secret hideout behind enemy lines, and it's waiting for you next time we go raiding. That death trap, Whit said. That rescue vehicle, said Janine. We'd just heard from another group of kids in an abandoned mall. They need help badly. What? I blurted, my mouth still full. They need help, Janine repeated, as if that explained all of life's complex mysteries. And maybe it did. Excuse me. What was I doing? Oh. Another mission, Whit said, but I could see the gears in his mind turning. He said it, his eyes met mine, there we go, and I could tell we were both thinking the same thing. Our parents were out there too. Well, okay, I said finally, and Whit nodded. Pfeffer nudged my leg, and I patted her. Of course you're going, I assured her. And me, said a voice up close to my ear. I'm afraid. Chapter 100. Wisty. I turned to see Byron Swain, Trader Suck-Up Weasel, there we go, perched on a shelf near my head, curled into a snaky little S. No, you're not going, I said firmly. You're not going anywhere with us. You are still a hateful, traitorous, black-hearted naysayer. Nuh-uh. Not helping his case, I don't think. Said Byron in a tone that I think confirmed my point. Someone had given him half a hot dog, and he was chomping through it. I've changed. I like you guys now. I want to go with you. You are so full of it, I said. You're staying right there. In my peripheral vision, I caught Janine, Margot, and Emmett violently shaking their heads. He has to go with you, Janine said. You brought him. He's your responsibility. The weasel must go. There's something I want to say to you guys, Byron said stiffly. I want to apologize. My eyes widened. At the time, when we met, I felt I was doing the right thing. It seemed to be the only smart thing to do, to act like I did. But after seeing the kids living in Freeland, and the hospital where you guys were, and the curved dog, and realizing about how maybe I could have done something different in terms of what the whole thing, of that whole thing with my sister. Well, I'm just saying, I feel differently, he continued. That's all I wanted to say. Whit and I made surprised faces at each other. Fine, said Whit and sighed. Fine, we'll take him along. And then another strange thing. Tears. Actual tears began to flow from the hateful weasel's eyes. Can people really change, I wondered? Maybe they can. I think so. Okay. I realize that this one's super short. But look at what's left. And I have to get Iggy out of the tub anyway, and then get all this other stuff ready before I go to work. So I'm going to end this one here, and then tomorrow will be the finale of Witch and Wizard. I'm not going to dive right into the sequel. I think it's a trilogy. There might be 4 books. I don't know. What was I going to say? Let me know if you have any ideas for books. I'll go back through all the comments that I can find on prior videos and see what you guys have suggested. And we'll go from there. Anyway, until next time, goodbye everybody. And I'm sorry that I've been super flaky, but don't worry. I'll get this sorted out. And thank you. I mean it.